All right, everybody, we're playing the new Fortnite season now. We have two new champions in Bantamweight and Flyweight, so that definitely begs the question: which weight class at the moment is the best one? We also don't have any MMA content for the next month or so I'm trying to keep y'all entertained. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes. Welterweight. I think this is the hot barrel right now with Islam becoming the double champion, right? We have a bunch of contenders. We're going to get into all that. We're going to rate these from a scale of 1 to 5. And just so you guys aren't crying, no, we're not going to talk about heavyweight today. We're talking about what's the best weight class. We're not just going to fucking talk about weight classes that obviously aren't going to be in contention. I think the first reasonable argument you can make is welterweight. And we'll start with the champion, Islam Makhachev. Now, I think the champion does a lot for a division because every single division on this list and in the UFC has a couple of bums in the top 10. That's just a fact. There's always a couple of bums in the top 10. The champion represents the division. He kind of signifies the movement that we're going to get. Like, I wouldn't want to watch Evloev versus Marab. I know they're not in the same weight class, but I wouldn't want to watch that as a title fight. That just wouldn't tickle my pickle for a main event and to kind of see the storyline of the division unfold. Islam, I think, after his last performance, let's not hate on him too much, all right? I know I hated on him too, but people forget that Islam used to fucking finish everybody with a submission, had a banger fight with Volk the first time, knocked him out the second time, submitted Poirier. Islam is typically a entertaining fighter. That's a fact. And okay, he did have a snoozer, but we all do. We all have this off day sometimes, you know? It happens. Let's not take away too much because of that. That's why I give him 4 stars. I think pre-JDM fight, 5 stars. Right now, 4 stars. Because I want a classic from him at welterweight to be able to bump it up to 5 stars at welterweight. At lightweight, 5-star champion. I think what brings his rating so high, though, is that the matchups you have against him are always intriguing. You always want to see if the guy that he fights is like the guy to beat him. Activity is all right with him. He's kind of a little bit of a couch potato. People are going to get triggered by that. When it comes to fighting, like, regularly. He's not on some King Von Marab shit, all right? But yeah, next point that we have, entertainment. We have Bilal in this weight class, but Bilal isn't what he used to be. And now, especially with the new fucking, like, welterweight Fortnite season, we have a bunch of cool-ass finishers in this division, and I'm excited for it, man. Carlos Prates, just chinning everybody. Not in boring fights ever. Even the Ian Gary fight was cool. I enjoyed watching that. He's not in, like, snoozers. Bilal turned into just the fucking menace recently. He's, like, starting to kind of get his hands going. He's not fucking hugging anybody. We have Micah Morales with his kind of thing he got going on. Also finishing everybody. So, man, when it comes to entertainment, like, a lot of the fights right now in the top 10, I want to fucking see them. Maybe Ian Gary isn't the biggest, like, you know, fucking barn burner creator, but we have a lot of cartoon brawls, like the fucking, you know, the smoke with the DDP shit. We have a bunch of these that we can make right now in the division. Entertainment, I give it 4 stars. I'm a little bit reluctant to give it 5 because I feel like it's more technical a lot of the times. As we see, for example, with people like Ian Gary, the skill that you need to be a welterweight right now is very, very high, I think. Right? You can't just be a bum. Maybe you can be at like the Neil Magny, Jeff Neal kind of level, but those people aren't like bums too. Welterweights are pretty good. Now, I do think that like people like Morales and Prates maybe aren't the most technical. They're technical. They're good. They have knockout power. Like I wouldn't like Bantamweight, for example, is like a good example. They're pretty fucking technical. You're not gonna see that at welterweight too much, to the point where it's like a 3-star. I think it's high level. You can't be a bum at welterweight, and we have a lot of like technical maestros: Islam, Bilal, Ian Gary, right? We have all those people in there, Shafkat as well, that I would consider like just good on a technical level. So we're not just watching bar fights here. We're watching proper technical MMA. And the title picture, right now, it's okay. Because Ian Gary's the most deserving one. Shafkat is just fucking in Thailand or some shit. I don't even know what he's doing. Shafkat is out the picture. It's going to get more entertaining when Prates and Morales come in, but they're kind of just going to get submitted as well by Islam. I know it's like an intriguing fight and it's going to sell, but we kind of know what's going to happen. So the title picture, I'll take the pedal off the glaze here for a second. I'd say title picture, we give it a 3-star. It's not too crazy right now, but it's still not bad. Like the next one, oh man. The next one we have a disaster class. But, next one, lightweight. Let's get right into it. You can't really critique Topuria apart from maybe his activity. Like he's rather fighting Divorce right now than fighting Arman. So it's a little bit sketchy on the activity. But then still at the end of the day, contrary to Islam at the moment, this guy like literally just puts people out. You're always intrigued to see whoever this guy fights. I'll be intrigued to see him fight Paddy. Although, we're going to get into that later. I'll be very intrigued to see him fight Arman, fight Islam. Justin Gaethje, not so much. But that's still a fight that would be like, okay. I think people paid on it too much when it comes to deserving. We're getting to that later. The fight itself, Gaethje's going to get chinned, but it's still like kind of just like, oh, nice, Topuria's fighting. Like, you're always excited to have a Topuria main event, is what I'm trying to say here. He's a good champion, good style, fan-friendly style to watch. You know what? What I'm trying to say here is that if you, like, assemble the casuals with you on a watch party, on a Topuria pay-per-view, you know that they're not going to fucking, go at school the next day and just tell everybody, hey, this function was boring as fuck. It's not going to happen. They're going to be like, oh, shit, the sport's kind of fire, right? That's what you want with a champion. You want the casuals to also be able to enjoy their style. Entertainment, I think we also have to give it 5 stars. We have Entertainment himself in this division with Max Holloway. Charles Oliveira is never in a boring fight, really. Paddy Pimblett is also pretty solid. Justin Gaethje is also in bangers. We had Poirier just kind of leave. When it comes to entertainment, this is what you want. The people are not bar fighting necessarily, but they're putting on scraps. They're taking risks. They're jumping the gilly. They're not just there to win a boring 48-47 decision. At least nobody really in like the top 5 to, top 10. I'll even say top 10. I wouldn't want anything else in a weight class when it comes to entertainment. Pretty much any matchup you make right now is from an entertainment standpoint, just fire. And then from a skill standpoint, I think you also give it 4 stars. Because at the top, it's very high level. I will say the only critiques you can make, don't flame me for this. I like these guys. I like Moicano. I like Dan Hooker. But they're maybe not the most technical. Like Dan Hooker, for example, is kind of a bum. Moicano was also kind of a bum. But we of course love them still. I'm just saying, like, you can't be shit to be in the lightweight rankings. But there's a couple of odd ones out where I wouldn't say it's 5 stars for skill, if you get what I'm saying. Like, this isn't death row, but it's just a bunch of fucking dudes coming to scrap, which I like. What we do got to talk about, though, is the current title picture. Because the way they handled this was not good. Let's just keep it a buck. You could have made an argument for this fight before UFC Qatar, but this is absolutely injustifiable. Arman deserves to fight for the belt. There's no counter argument. There's no reason. He got a finish too when he didn't even have to fight, technically. Like, he got a title shot against Islam, injured his back. Technically, he should get another title shot. He didn't. I was okay with that. Then he fought Dan Hooker and won by submission. Displayed a great amount of skill. And he's still not getting the title fight. Well, we're giving fucking Gaethje, who got slept 2 fights ago and then beat number 8 Fiziev on short notice, a title shot. Why are we doing this? And then Paddy Pimblett, I think, is justified, but I'd rather see Arman Pimblett for this position here. I don't see where Justin Gaethje is relevant, man. And it just sucks when you have a good contender and they're not getting a title shot. That's why for title picture, I will have to give this one a 1 star. This was a awful way to solve it. And that's really hurting the overall ranking of lightweight. And it's unfortunate, but we'll see if another division might overtake it. Featherweight. So you have to give Volkanovski 4 stars. I would see why some people may want to give him 5 stars. I wouldn't be against that because always puts on a, all-time classic Unk performance against anybody, basically, apart from, the AI videos of the Islam and the Topuria fight. But because of those AI videos, we have to take him down a star because it's a thing of fear. Like, I fear my GOAT getting chinned in any of his fights. And that's not a fear I want to have for a 5-star champion. Like, against Topuria, I'm not fearing that anybody's really going to slam him out. Like, I'm not worrying when I put the house on Topuria that something can happen. With Volk, always puts on great fights. Typically pretty active. I know right now he may not be, but he's also, ending his career. Yes, and he had to take the time off, of course, with the AI knockout losses. So yeah, champion 4 stars. Not much to say. Just a great dude. Boo, I know. Entertainment is 3 stars. We had a lot of bangers just kind of leave featherweight that really took down the entertainment. Like, it's just not what it used to be, if you get what I'm saying. Like, you have, fucking Diego Lopez in there. You have John Silva in there and all that. But you just lost Max Holloway, first of all. You lost Topuria. And those two themselves would have literally bumped this to a 5-star. Like, Holloway and Topuria are each worth a star. Because right now, Evloev, he's all right. Lopez is pretty good, but they're like 3-star. They just scream cool entertainment. Like, I get entertained by a good featherweight fight. There's some that are maybe higher, some that are maybe lower. Overall, the division, 3 stars. Doesn't mean it's bad, but it's just my opinion, man. Cry about it. I'm going to get more hate for this as well. I think there are very skillful guys in there, like John Silva. There are some brawlers in there, like Arnold Allen, Diego Lopez, right? I wouldn't call them the most technical. They're just kind of like dogs. And that's not a bad thing, again. But here, anything, we gotta talk about this here. 3 stars doesn't mean it's bad. It's just compared to the other divisions, some have to have low ratings for fucking skill, for example. I think compared to lightweight right now and welterweight, this division is just less skilled. Again, here they lost Max Holloway and Topuria, which would have definitely bumped this up to a 4 or even a 5. At the title picture, again, man, it's a little bit better than Paddy versus Gaethje, but this ain't it, Dana. This really ain't it. Why? You have undefeated Lerone Murphy, and you have undefeated Evloev. I don't care which one of these two you give a title fight to. I would personally have given it to Murphy. Not because he's the fucking most entertaining or big name, or it's just the most deserving contender. I wouldn't give it to Evloev because Murphy took the Pico fight and Evloev couldn't. So that would kind of justify in my mind to give Murphy the title shot, especially with that cool little spinning elbow. That was a good clip. But this, it's not doing it, man. It's not doing it. Middleweight. What are we doing here? This is maybe controversial. Again, I think Khamzat is a 4 out of 10 champion. Definitely not 5 stars because this guy fights once a year. Inactive as fuck. And with the last performance as well, he just didn't deliver. He won and everything. I'm sorry, but I personally just don't find that entertaining. And I think for a champion, you also want to have kind of like an entertainment factor to yourself. Khamzat definitely just fucking beats everybody in the division. That's a fact. And you also just know that with anybody. Like with Islam, I would kind of find it interesting to see him fight maybe, what's the kid's name? Morales. Just because Morales is so much bigger. With Khamzat, he's just going to beat everybody. Like, it's kind of like, watch another guy get smudged or just kind of fucking ragdolled for one round and get submitted. That's the kind of thing you have with him. At the end of the day, you still can't complain. It's a big name. It's just not 5 stars, even though he would, on paper, maybe deserve to be 5 stars because he just beats everybody. But that's just my opinion. I give him 4. Pretty inactive. I would even justify giving him 3 stars, but he's just too good to kind of do that. So it is what it is. Entertainment, I would also, you might be surprised with the ranking I give middleweight here. Entertainment is also pretty low for middleweight. There's good fights in there. Anthony Hernandez is always fun to watch, but they're all just kind of like good. They're all good. There's no like very good fighter in there, like an Alex Pereira that would kind of stir the shit up. You know, mid. Skill right now, you know what? I might even change that to 4 stars because I think we have to think relative here. It's pretty obvious, in my opinion, that if you're a middleweight, just because you're physically bigger, you can't be as like fucking Peter Yan, lead hand fighting, fucking calculating every possible move and whipping out the test tubes and shit when you're like pretty much a 200-pound dude on fight night. But what I do appreciate about like starting at welterweight, middleweight kind of, and I see a skill difference in middleweight and welterweight personally, is that knockouts are really much more of a factor in the heavier weight classes than in like bantamweight, and that kind of skews the buttons a little bit, the switches for what's seen as skillful or not. Like Adesanya is very skillful. For example, he is still like one of those guys that are a technical maestro. But then you also just have like a Dolidze in there, right? Who's kind of a bum. And you can't kind of get away with it, though, at middleweight because, like, you can be a bum if you have a good chin. You will still kind of be ranked in this division just because, like, the knockout factor is just so much bigger here that it kind of changes what's seen as skillful or not. Maybe Alex Pereira isn't the most technical, but he would sleep people. So he knows how to, like, use his bigger frame compared to a bantamweight to fight a different fight, if that makes sense. If not, please drive engagement on this YouTube video and leave a comment. Thank you. The title picture is also mid. You know what? I'll give middleweight maybe 4 stars in skill, especially with Khamzat. He's pretty skillful. But title picture is mid right now. Again, this division is good, but just in the bigger picture of all the divisions ranked, which is what we're doing, it's like mid. It's in the middle right now. And the title picture, Imavov is good, It's a cool fight. I'm probably gonna tune in, but I wouldn't like bring the whole gang out to watch this one. It's just not that big of a fight, even though it has Khamzat slapped on top of it. I don't know. It's just not the biggest one. And then last of all, for all the real ones out here that state to watch Bantamweight, the champion, I would say, definitely gets a 4 stars. You can't ask for more. Peter Yan is what I consider like good activity. Fights around 2 times a year. I'll take that. That's good, especially for championship bouts. Very skillful. Though he's not the biggest like talker and he doesn't fucking speak English and I don't even fucking know what his personality is really like, I kind of fuck with it because he just fights. Like he straight to business, just fucking fights. And I appreciate that about him. Entertainment is pretty alright. Apart from maybe like a Sean O'Malley who really fucking colds people, you're gonna have mostly decisions. Doesn't mean that's bad, but I like seeing knockouts personally, so that kind of drives it down a little bit for me. It's skill-wise, like Bantamweight is just like a skill division, It's very skillful, not a lot of knockouts, a lot of grapplers, I feel like, too. And skill-wise, though, this is always beautiful to watch. Like, whenever you want to learn, I guess, whenever you want to watch UFC and consider educational content, you want to put on Bantamweight because that's where I think you really can't be a technical bum to make it far. And last of all, the title picture is very solid right now, man. I'm very happy with this. Umar could fight Peter Yan. I like that fight. The O'Malley rematch isn't bad too. The Merab rematch isn't bad. These are all good fights. And I think Peter Yan sells better than Merab personally, but Merab was also good. Maybe I would have put it at like 3 with Merab. No hate against him. He's a fucking dog. But I think Peter Yan just kind of has a little bit more like to it. So I don't have a conclusion for this, but I will just count the stars real quick. So lightweight should be at around, I don't think lightweight takes it. Featherweight doesn't take it too. It's between welterweight, I think. 4, 4, 4, and 3. It's 15. And bantamweight is also at 15. We have a tie, guys. Let's go. Oh, yeah.